Hey, and so we're on, and I'm here with Marisa Sliche. My name is Bud Gibson. I'm the director of the Center for Digital Engagement at Eastern Michigan University. And we're here to talk about our summer clinic that we put on every summer. This past summer, we had 48 interns working with 24 companies. And so, Marisa, tell us a little bit who we have on today.
Yeah, so we have two interns from the 2020 Digital Summer Clinic. We have Nate Fischel and Kevin Hillman. We did have a third intern, but unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we couldn't get Rachel on. But definitely check out our other Digital Live series as we'll try to cover her later.
And I'd like to remind all of our guests to please turn off any notifications because it comes through as a loud ding over the Skype. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over, Marisa, to you, Kevin, and Nate.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's get started with some questions. So let's start. We'll go with Nate first, and then we'll go with Kevin for this one question. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you studying, or what did you study, and maybe a little fun fact about yourself.
All right. I'm Nate Fischel. I study computer science at Eastern Michigan University. This is my last year, actually, so I'm a senior. I really enjoy everything involving technology. I'm pretty much always fixing computers, writing code. Outside of that stuff, I really enjoy travel. Um, Going to Europe was probably my favorite vacation I've ever taken.
Definitely. Where did you go in Europe?
I went to the Netherlands.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, what about you, Kevin? Tell me a little bit about yourself, what you
All
studied.
right. So my name is Kevin Hillman. I'm a graduate of Eastern Michigan University's Public Relations program. Right now I'm working in digital marketing, but one thing I really love to do is I really love exercise. I love all forms of exercise, whether it's running, working out, or playing basketball, things like that.
Yeah, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the companies that you worked for. Tell us a little bit about them and what a typical day working for them looks like. Nate, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so I worked for Impelia. They're a sports analytic company. And by that, they use data analysis to help generate like an intuitive dashboard that they give to the players and the coaches, where they can look and see exactly what they need to concentrate on to get better. A typical day, I usually met with Justin and Dave, that's the CEO and the CTO of Impelia. And we spent most of our time working on building a data pipeline that would connect the data that they got from the sensors on the athletes to bring it into a dashboard that would break down like the data so it's more understandable.
Yeah, definitely. And what about you, Kevin?
So me, Tech Stack is essentially a business that acts as a matchmaking service between IT tech providers and small businesses. They also provide other IT resources to these small businesses in the form of free resources. My responsibility was mainly to help them build out their IT provider marketing service that they're providing. A typical day at my internship would be I would meet with my managers, Peter and Nicole, who were really amazing. They taught me a lot about digital marketing and working within the startup space, but it could be anything ranging from brainstorming sessions about the IT marketing service or creating content like social media posts or blogs for the IT marketing service. So every week was something different.
Yeah, super interesting. So let's talk about maybe a project that you worked on during your internship that was either your favorite, the most challenging, or the most exciting. I know that's a lot of different categories, but I'm sure you guys all worked on something that was one of those. Nate?
Yeah, so like I said, we spent majority of the time working on a data pipeline. That was kind of our big project that took the entire time. Um, I'd say it was the most fun and the most challenging. It was challenging just because in a startup environment, you kind of have to define your own role. So me and my partner, Levon, that we were working with in Pelia, we kind of had to come up with a plan of how the project was going to look without being told that. And that was just really the most challenging part, was finding out exactly where we fit in and how to best utilize both our skills.
Yeah, definitely. And Kevin?
So for me, we were working on this project called an IT provider marketing quiz. And it was my first time using logic jumps and just using logic to make a quiz within that manner. And I hadn't really done that before. It took a couple of tries, took a couple of sheets of paper to kind of fill everything out. But in the end, that marketing quiz, as of the last time I checked, was live on the site. And so it's really rewarding to see your hard work, come to fruition and be utilized within the platform.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So over the course of this internship, did you learn anything about yourself that surprised you? Anything that you didn't know before? Nate?
Yeah. So I really found out that I could really take initiative. I'll probably repeat that a few times, but we really didn't have like a direction given to us. We were kind of just thrown into the deep end and said, figure it out. And I hadn't really worked anywhere like that. Every job I've had prior to this, someone's had like a trainee like process that you follow and exactly what you do to get involved. Where with something like this, they're both busy and anyone else that worked for the startup was busy. So we had to handle that ourselves. And I really ended up doing better than I would thought with something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And Kevin?
I could definitely say taking initiative was one for me too, but also I think I pushed myself as a content creator in this position. I think I was creating a lot of graphics, and I had never really done that before. I learned that, I'm definitely not a full hand graphic designer, but I can do a little something if necessary. And it kind of challenged me to be more creative as well and to think outside of the box. So it really pushed me in that way.
Yeah, definitely. So I just want to encourage all of our viewers to put some questions into the Facebook chat for Nate and Kevin to answer. After we finish up our questions, we'll have a Facebook Q&A. So if you have any questions about Nate and Kevin's experience, definitely put them in the chat. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what you enjoyed most about the internship and why, because we did a lot of stuff. So we had our cohort meetings. We had, like we talked about the different projects with the company. We had our all hands meetings where we had professionals in the industry come in, blogging, so many different things. So what was your favorite experience and why? Nate?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the all hands meetings. I felt like every week there was a speaker that really brought something different in. I heard a lot of people talk that just like really inspired me, that they would talk about how at our like time in their career they were in the same boat, and it really inspired me to not get discouraged when I'm searching for jobs like after college and stuff, because there is like everyone starts from really the same area. And that was, even though like every speaker had a different thing they talked about, that was really kind of the same theme that everyone hit on.
Yeah, definitely. And you, Kevin?
I think I would have to agree with Nate on that. The all hands meeting were a really great experience. I was really excited, and I'm really privileged to be a part of a group of young professionals that really wanted to see everyone learn, everyone succeed, and was willing to help everybody learn new skills as well. So I just felt like during the all hands meetings, and as well as in the Slack channel, we all encouraged each other, and I just thought that was a really great experience, and I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you both too. I think that the all hands meetings were really insightful about like industry professionals and, visualizing yourself, 5 years later in these same positions. So I definitely agree with you all. So let's talk a little bit about how this experience has shaped or impacted your career goals. I know it has for me, definitely, as a political science and journalism student, but I want to hear from you. Has it like reconfirmed anything? Like this is definitely the industry I want to go into, or is this something that maybe you discovered a new, avenue in the industry that you're like, maybe I want to discover, where this can take me?
Yeah. So I, before I started, I think I was like a lot of other like tech majors in school, where I was like, oh, I want to work for the big company. I want to work for Facebook or Microsoft or something. And working for a startup really changed that for me. Being able to go in and talk to the people who are in charge of the company, and then they're talking to me about their plan and where they want to see the company go and how I'm going to fit into that and how I can really make impact really kind of made me realize I don't think I want to work for some large corporation. I want to work in the startup space or like some type of company where I can know the people in charge and I know all my coworkers.
Yeah, definitely. And you, Kevin?
I'd like to say the same thing, Nate. I really enjoy working within the startup space and being as close to the CEO to really see their vision and to really put it into action. But also, I graduated with a degree in public relations. I ended up working in digital marketing. This internship furthered my interest in digital marketing and content creation. And I think I'm definitely going to continue doing that throughout my career.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was great to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to like answer my questions. I really learned a lot from you all. So we're going to turn it over to Bud, who's going to take over the Facebook Q&A so we can get some more questions out there.
Awesome.
Okay, so Marisa, as it turns out, you are still our main host, and I'm just throwing in questions. And our first question is from Jared Scott, and let me just position this on screen. And so Jared asks, how much experience did you have before this internship? And I find that to be a big question from students. Is, gee, do I need to do another internship before I do this internship? So why don't the two of you speak to that?
Yeah, do you want me to go first? Okay. So I had a decent amount of experience. I wasn't coming into this as like a professional or anything. I've worked a couple of years for Eastern Michigan University as a student employee, both in the IT department, and I've been working as a web developer. So really, I had some experience, but I don't think you need to go and know all these things before coming in. They didn't expect me in the internship to know everything that I was doing. They kind of expected me to learn as I go.
Yeah, in my experience, because as it turns out, a certain Levon Gibson, related to me by birth, was with you, and it sort of seemed like you guys were learning completely new technologies.
Yeah, definitely. The stuff that I was doing there was not stuff that I really had experience with. I had work experience in tech, but it's a really big field. So really, I don't think you can really know everything going in. Both me and Levon were learning the same things at the same time, pretty much. There were a few things I knew ahead of him, but realistically, we both came in learning a bunch.
So for me, I would say I did have a decent amount of experience going into this internship. In addition to Nate, I also did some internships at Eastern Michigan University and had a couple prior internships within the marketing and public relations space. But fun fact, I actually applied for this internship my sophomore year. I didn't necessarily get it, but I even had experience then. So I think it's more important that you kind of have an idea of maybe what you want to go into. If you don't have that much experience, still apply because you never know the type of experience that, that they're looking for. Always kind of try your best. And, I think that's the best way to go.
Okay, and great. Marisa, you could actually speak to this as you yourself were an intern.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually didn't have much experience with marketing and PR. It was really just the classes I took. Like I said before, I'm a political science and journalism major, so big on writing. And I started taking public relation courses with one of the mentors in the clinic, Professor Jamie Ward, who's a public relations professor at EMU, and I loved it. And I was like, I need to figure out a way to find out if this is, the industry that I want to go into, especially when I was a pre-law student before. I reached out to a couple PR students. They, sent me this way to this internship. I applied. I was really nervous. I was like, I don't think I have enough experience because, my experience was only in the admissions office as a guest relations coordinator. And I got in. Here I am as a former intern from the 2020 clinic and a field manager for the Center for Digital Engagement. So don't worry about your experience level. It's just about your passion and your aspirations and, where you want to go.
Hey, 100%. So I have a great follow-up. It's addressed to Kevin, but I think it could really also work for Nate in a different way. And
Mm-hmm.
it's from um, Gabby Giannuzzi Paul, another
Mm-hmm.
intern from this summer. And her question is, Kevin, what advice would you give to fellow recent grads who might be struggling? And Nate, I think there's a version of this that you could answer to. So, Kevin?
I think one of the biggest things that I would do for recent graduates is that I would try to focus on learning as much as you can. I'm personally speaking within the digital marketing space. There are so many things that I didn't know, so many technologies, certifications, and things that I didn't know before. And I think if you're struggling, looking whether it's looking for a position or looking for another internship, I think just learning as much as you can, reading blogs, watching YouTube videos, and just gaining more knowledge about the field and also applying yourself, whether it could be things like writing, doing free work, things like that. Anything that can, where you're applying knowledge and then where you're getting knowledge and then applying that knowledge, all of those things are going to make you a better professional. And that's going to get you that position eventually. Just keep on applying and just keep at it. Just keep moving. That's my biggest advice. Keep moving.
Nate?
Yeah, sorry. I would say if by struggling you mean to find like an internship or a job, don't give up. I know when I was searching for an internship, I started in like maybe October of the previous year. And I actually, before I took this internship, I nearly had another. And with COVID starting, that completely shut down. And so I ended up applying for this and got this internship. But if I had given up at that point, I would never have gotten this far. So really, you got to realize that sometimes you just haven't found the right thing to apply for yet, and keep searching and don't give up. And like Kevin said, learning new things always helps. You never know when that skill that you add to your resume is going to be the thing that some really good position is looking for.
So let's go to one final question from a viewer out there, Catherine Moses. And she asks, how did the clinic help you guys get these internships? And I think there's kind of two features to that. Kevin, I think you might speak to what you're doing right now because you've actually moved on to a full-time job. And I'll speak very quickly to how we place interns. And how we place interns is we interview companies for what they need, we interview interns, and then we match them. And so we interviewed this year, I think, 36 companies to place interns with, and we talked with over 100 intern candidates, just to give you an idea. We took notes, and then we did a matching process. But Kevin, you've moved on, and I know Nate, you have a current ongoing job. So Kevin, why don't you real quick answer, Nate, you too, and then I think Marisa, it'll be time to wrap up.
Sure. Awesome. So I'm actually working right now as a digital marketing and social media specialist for the professional programs and training department at Eastern Michigan University. Shameless plug. You can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Sorry, shameless. But right now, this internship definitely helped me get this job just because of a lot of the things that I was doing within my position are a lot of the things that they're asking me to do in my position now, things such as content creation, coming up with strategy. And I just really think that it helped me out also in terms of composure. As I was doing these things, I felt more confident to say I could do these things within the interview. So it just kind of happened that way. And I'm really thankful to have this experience because it definitely helped with what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so like Bud said, I have an ongoing position. I'm currently a web developer with Eastern Michigan University. So I had that job before the internship, but I think it's definitely, even within my job now, the internship has helped me because I learned to speak up and kind of not wait for somebody to say something to me and come to my superiors with my ideas and try to get stuff implemented. As far as, because I'm a senior, so I'm slowly putting out applications for new grad jobs. I think it's really helped with that as well. Just having some diversification on my resume to really show that I have kind of a wide array of skills. I've kind of seen a lot more responses to some applications I put in for jobs like that, compared to when I was trying to apply to internships before I'd ever done this internship.
All right. Well, again, we just want to thank you for joining us for our Intern Spotlight event. Just a reminder that today we'll also be having some other events. We have Mentor Spotlight at 4:30 and Company Spotlight at 5:30. So we hope you'll join us there. Definitely follow us on social media to keep up to date with all the events happening. We'll be starting up our digital live series, and our digital marketing workshop is coming up in November. But again, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have a great day.
Okay,
Awesome.
bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.